quiet seaside town, an evil laid to rest centuries ago, has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. Now, a band of adventurers sets out to dig up the wounds of the past and bring the light of day to the roots of ruin. This is Tabletop Gold.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Tabletop Gold. It's another edition. It's the final edition at that of 2024 of our podcast. You let me finish the sentence. I'm Lars Casteen. I hope everybody's having a nice mid-December. It's what is sometimes called a midwinter.
Pretty mid.
It is a little bit mid, but you know it's not mid is me, Lars Casteen. Hi, nice to see you. And also the four people that are joining me on this call to participate in this game that we're playing tonight. Robin Lange is the first of those people.
Good chilly time for those in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yes.
And warm time for those in the Southern Hemisphere.
David the Tin Man Chernicoff.
Good that time, Lars.
Good that time, Zoe Chernicoff.
Good that time.
And our Matt Humphreys.
Good mid time.
Good mid time. Good time to everybody. Okay, so yeah, you're listening to the final episode of 2024. We are going to be taking 2 weeks off before we come back, raging like the sores that were covering my hands when I had hand, foot, and mouth disease recently. But we're gonna be back and badder than ever. But before that happens, we got a whole episode we want to talk about right now. I don't know if I've said it enough times. It's winter. We need to talk about gift guides. Let's talk about gift guides. Zoe, you're a connoisseur of these websites that have gift guides on them.
So I want to dive into substance, but first, I'm genuinely curious. Do any of you feel like you get useful gift information from gift guides? And I say this as candidly, someone who will scroll through basically anything you send me that is labeled as gift guide, but almost always at the end is like, no one in my life wants any, but I'll do it over and over. Like, I'm the person that these things are made for.
Right.
Except I'm always like, wait, no one in my, like, I have some observations, but I'm curious if anyone gets gift guides where you're like, this is helpful.
I think you've hit the nail on the head, Zoe. Like, I look at them as well. I'm like, oh, this is so cute. Oh, this is so great. Oh, I love this. And it's not something that I would necessarily buy for myself. And it's not something I'm buying for anyone else either.
Right.
I think there is a class of person that I have never been, because I just don't have the money to do it, who just buy gifts constantly with the idea of, I'm going to find somebody who this gift is going to work for.
Oh, you buy the gift first.
That's
you
my
have
mother-in-law.
a backlog, and then you match them up.
My mother-in-law has a room dedicated, just filled with gifts that should she ever need something, she can just go to the magic room, wrap it up, because she's got 10 million rolls of wrapping paper.
She probably has a wrapping station all set up.
Shockingly,
my stepmother,
No. She sounds like a wrapping station kind of lady.
She does.
But
she does. She's not that organized. It's an organized chaos.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's a certain mindset where when you see something nice, you're like, well, I don't need this, but somebody is going to want this nice object that I have observed. You know?
I just feel like generally we were earlier, and this is not, we were laughing earlier, I guess it was the beginning of last episode, about the wire cutter housewarming gift guide that had come out when we had started. And like, I just generally find, and like, I liked giving a nice present. We don't give, we give presents to our family. We don't give presents to like every friend we've ever made, because who does? These gift guides seem to sort of allude to the idea that like all of your friends, you would give them like a $200 cashmere sweater. And I don't know who's living their life that way.
It's a very odd lifestyle.
I'm giving myself
it
that.
seems nice.
But
Yeah,
like
good
this,
to be
this
on the receiving
housewarming
end
gift
of.
thing had like a very lovely, I don't know, cereal bowl, wooden bowl as a suggestion that was an olive wood bowl. It was like $140. Like, I'd be so weirded out if someone came over to my house for dinner, which inevitably would be like pizza or mac and cheese, and presented me with a bowl I realized was like $140 wooden bowl.
Hey Siri, set reminder to return bowl.
It puts so much pressure on the dinner for it to
Right.
live up to the $140 bowl.
Like, I can't. But so many of these gift guides are like this. And the one I originally thought of when I raised this as something to chat about here in the holiday season, my guess here is just going off of some stereotypes. Robin is the most likely to have heard of this. Are any of you familiar with the Goop gift guide, which has become
I'm familiar with Goop.
I know
Goop
what
is
that
right.
would be, but I have not actually seen it.
So it has become
Never
sort
gone,
of
thankfully.
infamous. Goop is the company that Gwyneth Paltrow has run for many years now that is like a wellness, and they do clothes. It has become honestly infamous because it is known for being like
Over the top and
so over the
outrageous.
top. I can't remember if either last year's was some like crystal chess set for like $35,000, and I think this year's may have like a $20,000 accordion. Like
That's
I
crazy.
just had to go to the website because I've never actually gone to the Goop website in my life, I don't think. I've avoided it at all costs. And so I searched it. And usually on these, like all these gift guides, you'll see like under 30, gifts for under 50, gifts for under 20. The cheapest one on here is gifts for under 100.
right.
That is the lowest point,
Yeah.
which means they're all going to be in the 80-90 range.
Right. This includes something that's like an XL fluted crescent pave ring for $4,815. Don't worry, in bright red letters next to it, they have noted its final sale.
So like here's my question though. These all
Hey
feel like
Siri,
gifts.
set a reminder to return pave ring.
These feel like these are gifts for readers of Goop. Like, who are the people in the lives of the Goop readers who are going to like rank at a $3,500 price or whatever? Like the people aren't getting this for their significant others, are they? Like,
I have one
you're
girlfriend
getting it for
that I would buy this
yourself,
stuff
aren't
for.
you? Like,
Yeah, it's
I have like
hard
one or two
to
specific
imagine.
girlfriends who would like things on that list and who I would look at it for.
All
but
right,
those have got to be really close friends
They-
for you to drop that
Yes,
kind of money.
friends
on
that
them.
I've had for like 30 years now.
Here's an alternate theory. The gift guide is, I don't want to say it's like fully in quotation marks, but it is equivalent in a certain way to like a top 10 list. It's a structure.
Yeah.
It's a known structure.
Yeah.
Like the
Well
branches
said.
are out. You can hang whatever you want onto it. And so at that point, it's just a Rorschach for whoever is preparing the gift guide. So if it's Wirecutter, they're like, you need to optimize the gift getting. So you need to like micro target your friends. Okie dokie. And if it's Goop, you're really going to Goop to just sort of imagine what if life was such that you were just a disembodied consciousness floating through a gallery of expensive objects and like contemplating what they would be like if they were yours. So it can be completely untethered from any notion of gifting or guiding. It's just sort of like a reason to have a list of things that make your readers feel the way that they are inclined to feel. I'm trying this on, but I got to say, the more I describe it, the more I really think I'm
also
hitting the nail on the head.
genuinely curious
Well done.
of the percentage of people who go to a gift guide. How many people, and then something is purchased off of the gift guide as a result of that? How many people are genuinely doing it for others or use
Versus
it as a way
themselves.
to identify things for themselves?
Well, I think that's definitely like people talk about their Christmas list, and sometimes people mean the list of people they're buying stuff for, and sometimes they mean the list of stuff that they want other people to buy for them. And I do think the gift guide can sort of, you can look at it and you can see a chalice or you can see faces.
Yeah.
I think it will serve for both. I'm probably, well, no, that's not true. I will say one thing about Wirecutter. Well, yeah. Did we
I've
talk on
gotten
the show
something
about how
from-
Wirecutter has a thing that's like, here is the best gift for anyone? Like they have an article up that's like,
no.
this is the best thing to buy for whomever. They're sort of like, here's the gift. And I swear to God, y'all, it is something I would I cannot imagine buying for anyone, period, full
Game
stop.
theory gifting.
Including if we're trying on this other idea myself. It is.
What is it?
Let me find it.
What's the gift?
Wire cutter best gift for everyone.
For David. Best gift for David, wire cutter.
I really like the JBL like portable speakers on wire cutter.
Okay, here's the headline currently reads, "There's no one size fits all gift, but these come really close."
Okay.
And it is a set of two $95 champagne flutes.
Oh.
And it is the most New York Times
what are we
take
talking about?
possible. It's like this, yes, this is the wire cutter bubble personified.
That's amazing.
I just and there's 3 links to buy them from you can get them from Anthropology, from Saks Fifth Avenue, or from West Elm.
Check.
It's just this could have been generated by AI. Okay, read all of Wirecutter and make a single parody article.
Make the
of
most
whole
wire cutter recommendation.
Yes.
Okay, well, if I'm just gonna say, if anyone wants to get me a gift, that's exactly what I want. I want 2 of those multicolored champagne flutes. That's what I've been hoping for under the old tree this year. But it's time to move on.
Hey Siri, set up a reminder, please, to mail Zoe's champagne flutes to Lars.
Thank you for that.
My phone has made these reminders, by the way, because I guess I have Siri turned on. So
yeah.
It keeps actually.
Hopefully, I mean, my hope is that anybody listening to this who's listening on a speaker is going to have
ideally
these reminders baked into their lives.
Hey Alexa, turn all the lights off.
Okay, let's get into it. Let's play our game. You're on the hunt for 2 things on the 9th level of the Dungeons Below Gauntlet. You're searching for the black dragon that has tormented Mag since childhood, and also for clues about the peculiar lenses that may be the key to stopping Belcora Haravex and her plans to destroy Absalom with a death laser. These dual hunts have brought you to a drow settlement called Ilaris. Dozens of drow hunters and wardens seem to live in this enduring subterranean civilization. The drow have led you past security checkpoints, through wide hallways adorned with beautiful wood carvings, and into a great chamber with a crackling forge at its center. And now that you've had the chance to get comfortable, 4 people have just entered the room. A pair of silent, cloak-wearing twins moving in perfect synchronicity, a heavily armored woman who seems to be integral to Ilaris' security, and the settlement's leader, Quara or Shandiel. We are going to jump straight into what I hope is a productive conversation.
I hope you think that, Lars.
But I have no idea. But before we do that, I just want to mention this is episode 179. We're in use it or lose it territory with hero points. And I'm going to jump straight into what Quara is saying to you, but I wanted to refresh your memory as to what this woman looks like. She is a confident-looking drow woman who seems to command the respect and compliance of the people that she's that she has brought into this room with her. She has scars on her face indicating that she has been involved in battles throughout her life, and she has a sort of confidence and intelligence to her that is maybe not common with the people that we have talked to so far in this adventure. So
hey, you take that back about Torpor Wedge.
The art for her is very attractive. There's nothing
Robin
overtly sexual about it. It's I just look at her, I'm like, that is an attractive woman. And
The-
also digging that she's wearing cowboy boots.
I was gonna say she's kind of rootin' tootin'.
Yeah, some real gunslinger
drow
vibes, but
gal.
with no gun.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm. It turns out attracted to drow. So there you go.
Guess
David,
I am too.
I've got some bow chicka wow wow bad news for you.
Uh-oh.
They're not in the game anymore.
Yeah.
They're gone.
So what are they going to turn these hotties into? Some kind of copyright sanctioned slug? Like what are we? What's going to happen?
Yep, they're all grothlets all the way down.
Ooh.
So
Raffles all the way
just
down.
I just want to say you're noticing these boots that she's wearing, these spurs that she has on her boots. You also see that she has a very sleek looking hand crossbow at her side. So this inference that you're making that she is like potentially a talented shootist is like correct.
Right, the drow shootist archetype is very cool.
It is very cool. Maybe we'll talk more about that later today. So she begins to talk. She comes into this room flanked by this entourage of drow, of the sort of like leading council of people here in the settlement, and she addresses you directly. You have the look of surface dwellers. I've never met any of your kind, but I've seen artwork. Strange. You are not as ugly as our art makes you out to be. I am Quara or Shendiel, leader of this outpost. Let's figure out whether or not we can help one another. She looks at Ao. Ao is currently magically disguised as a drow. And she looks over towards Ao and raises her eyebrow slightly and says, I suppose not all of you are from above ground, though.
No, some of us are from Baltimore.
Okay, so she's going to do a perception check in relation to your deception check.
That's where the gnomes live.
Well, there's a small drow community.
They're known for actually their drow cuisine there.
That's right.
So this is versus your deception
Little Ildaris town.
DC plus 4. So your deception DC, she rolled a 26.
Just passes. It's a 24.
But the DC is 10 higher, so the DC is 34.
34. Then get out of town. You don't know shit about where I'm from.
And she says, you're right, I don't. I hear that you've rescued my cousin, Falxy, from another of the scrapes he keeps getting himself into. I thank you for that.
Oh, yeah, happily.
Knowing that you attend to another in need brings me closer to the point of trust, even before our conversation begins.
Yes,
So-
we're to be trusted. Allow me to introduce myself, Ao says unnecessarily.
Please,
I am
what is your name?
Sugar Beth O'Connor.
Sugar Beth. From Baltimore, you said.
Sugar Beth O'Connor of the Baltimore O'Connors. That's right.
I had no idea we were traveling with one of the Baltimore O'Connors.
And Ao digs her elbow into him.
Ow! Right, no,
Wasn't she-
thank you.
Wasn't her name like Dara?
Well,
Like the spider?
Oh, like the spider.
Right.
Dara is a nickname. Many drow who are Sugar Beths in title are Dara. It's a middle name. Nickname.
I have to confess, these Baltimorean customs are unfamiliar to me. But it is.
We are reclusive
nice.
people.
Well, who isn't, right?
Yeah.
So, listen. Who are you? What brings you here? Tell me your story. Tell me what it is that has brought you from so far, either below to Baltimore or from the lands above.
We have
Tell me your story.
We have sensed an imbalance down here. Your people seem keen to right it, but there is something going on with a light that is seeking to destroy, and which we wish to understand and perhaps harness for our own utility. I mean, good, for the good of the people down your people. Do you know of this imbalance? Ao says, getting the sense the room is eerily quiet and not with her.
We're here to fight Belcora, Stin summarizes.
Ah. Belcora.
Yeah, we're trying to take her down. And our friend Mag here, she is hunting a black dragon that she has one heck of a bone to pick with. We heard you might be the person to talk about the dragons.
Well, there's Ravarex who lives nearby. We give him space and he gives us the same. If you're interested in knowing about him, I'm sure there's something that we could give you that would be of use, but I'm more interested in finding a common purpose, this light that Sugarbeth brought up, and the wanting to fight Belcora. I don't understand what possible reason could the four of you have to be concerned about Belcora at all, that she's more our problem down here. What brought you to us?
She's trying to resurrect herself and destroy all of Absalom.
And I'm from Absalom, so that doesn't really work for me.
You know, some of us have kind of settled or grew up in Otari, which is the town right outside, and yeah, Otari's just going to be in the path.
I've not heard of either of these places, but...
You haven't heard of Absalom?
What? Well, have you heard of Eldaris?
Yeah, your friend Foxy told me about it.
I mean, before that.
Oh, well.
In Baltimore, we talk about it all the time. Oh, those highfalutin people in Ilaris.
See, Sugarbeth understands what's happening here. Not like you feckless moron.
Feckless? I mean, moron's arguably fair. I'll cop to that more often than not, but...
I apologize. I shouldn't have used the F word.
I'd like to say, I felt like many of us are from above, but we've certainly learned an awful lot through our journeys.
You have journeyed through the lands between the above and here.
Yes.
I imagine
All of
that
them.
was a trying journey. You must have grown and learned much about what it is that's happening here.
Oh, grown so much, learned an awful lot, had our hearts broken. It's been a roller coaster.
I'm afraid I don't know what that is.
It's been a minecart.
Yes. It sounds like quite a minecart you've gone through.
I really want to know if they have log flume rides in the Darklands now.
They've been outlawed for years.
That seems responsible to me, honestly.
Well, you've given me some things to think about. Thank you. I'm going to ask you to remain for some time in an area nearby. We have lodgings that you can spend time in to rest and perhaps patch up your wounds. I have something to consider. I need some time to make up my mind. And she turns and walks out of the room.
Thank you.
With the this entourage that she entered with.
Can we ask, it looks like the guard lady who walked us in here is still here?
Irabo?
Irabo, of course.
Irabo, the guard that you met upstairs, is still here.
Yeah.
What questions do you have for me?
What did your leader say the name of the black dragon was again? Ravknir?
Ravarex.
Ravarex.
Foxy told
He
us
is-
about him.
He is a petty tyrant that lives nearby. We steer clear of him, and he mostly stays in his lair, but I have to admit I don't have a complete itinerary of the dragon's activities. Come with me. And Irabo turns and leads you back out of the room, up through the hallway leading off to the north, which I'll just move your tokens up if you don't mind. And she goes to the edge of this hallway to the northeast and opens a door leading into a dormitory of sorts. She says, The rooms here are fine. I don't expect that you'll be spending the night or anything like that, but I assure you this is a safe place for you to rest for a moment. She leads you down the hallway and opens the door to a small, dormitory chamber that doesn't look as though it's been in active use for any significant length of time. And then she says, I expect I'll be back to get you in a few moments. Just stand by, please.
Are we, sorry, before we go, do we have to stay in here? Are we allowed to move around?
I think it would be best if you stayed in here for now until Quara has made her decision.
Do you have any snacks or games? You know how we drow get underground. It just you get kind of bored, and if we don't have something to do, we might wander around. Or just
I recently read a gift guide about board games that suggested the game that won't end in tears.
Mm-hmm.
And it suggested Ticket to Ride, even though that game's been out for 20 goddamn years. What are they even doing over there? Anyway, we have a copy of Ticket to Ride. See you later. And she shuts the door and walks away.
Oh my gosh, it's the Baltimore edition. AO says.
Oh, that was thoughtful. What are the odds, right?
AO, you can break character now.
Sugar Beth.
Mag sits down.
Sugar Beth.
So you have a moment to maybe do a last little bit of healing. I know that Isthan is down a few hit points. I don't know if the four of you want to discuss anything. It's been kind of like a whirlwind situation of drow pushing you here, pushing you there, leading you to this room, leading you to that room, all this stuff. So I don't know if the four of you have anything you want to discuss here.
Thank you. Ew.
AO begins wrapping him. With one hand, she's picking out her 3 routes on the Baltimore version of Ticket to Ride, and with the other hand, she's wrapping him in gauze. So what do we think they're going to fight us? I think they liked us, right? It was super convincing with the middle name Dara thing, the spider.
No, I don't know about that, but I think you're right about them not wanting to get into any combat with us. I think we're definitely seeking some sort of agreement, some sort of teamwork plan, but we all, I think, need to be on the same page.
Do you think they're going to want someone's soul again? I wouldn't mind that. That was easy enough.
I'd really like to vote against that if I can. One was sort of more than enough for me.
We'll see. And she keeps rapping.
Great, thanks.
I find it strange. They could be so familiar with this Ravarex. Mag is clearly trying on the thought and the name of what has been an amorphous, an unseen, disembodied force in her life as a specific creature, the name, and a place.
That these people are familiar
that they've
with.
met. That she could, and she's the head of her Earthbreaker is down on the ground. She's sitting on one of the bunks with the handle of the Earthbreaker, directly up in front of her, and she's spinning it around, so little eddies of dust are spiraling away from the head of the Earthbreaker as it spins in place. That they could be so familiar with this Ravarex and so unfamiliar with the true nature of Belcora and her designs.
Well, they didn't necessarily say they were unfamiliar. They just didn't say much yet. They seem to be deliberating as to how much they want to tell us, I think.
Maybe they're trying to harness the light for their own purposes.
I think we may need to establish common cause with them.
I agree.
Against Belcora, and if they won't tell us what they know of her, we should tell them more of what we have come to learn. Everything we've seen between their home and our own. That demonstrates the gravity of the peril we're all in.
I mean, maybe when we come back together, we just need to ask a couple more questions, right? Like, Quara said that she was surprised that we seemed bothered by Belcora. She thought it was their problem. How is she their problem? We need to find that out.
And show them just how badly she's our problem, too.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they'll want to entrust us with the light. It's probably a hassle for them, right? Like, they seem to like the darkness so much.
If the light comes along with... There's a flash in Mag's eyes as she looks at Ao. That would be fine.
At this point, there's a quick knock at the door. The Uribo opens the door. It says, "Who won?" The game. Who won the game?
Still...
Trill.
Oh, yeah, I made the longest train.
That's always the best. That's the best bonus ticket.
I took too many
Anyway.
tickets, Ao says, with a handful of 9 tickets.
What the fuck were you doing taking 9 tickets? Oh my god.
You get it, it works.
And Uribo says, "Come with me." And she leads you now to a door to the south, a different way than you came when you got here. She's leading you through new rooms, like more sort of the more familiar portions of the lodge here at Ilaris. She first leads you into a common area. It's like a large room with several tables, benches along these long tables.
Kind of cozy
And,
looking.
Yeah, very cozy looking. There are heads of strange creatures like hanging stuffed and mounted on the walls. There are a few more of the drow wardens like standing by, just sort of like having conversations with each other, discussing the hunt, that kind of thing. They acknowledge Uribo as Uribo leads you into the room, and then Uribo leads you through a large kitchen that is, there are fire pits on the northern side of this room. There are flues to carry the smoke away. This looks like a kitchen that would serve to feed like a large number of drow people here, of the people that live down in this settlement. And she pushes through the kitchen and leads you back into the large chamber with the forge, where Quara, her head of security, and the two like spooky, non-speaking twin people are. And as soon as you enter the room, you can see that like Quara and her the rest of these people were in a sort of tense conversation, and she turns to you and she gets straight to business. She says, "I believe you've been truthful with me, so I'm going to be truthful with you. Ilaris," she moves her hands up to this chamber around her, "exists only at Belcora's pleasure. It was here when she first created her vast dungeons. At the time, my grandfather was its leader. Belcora made allies of several groups, including us, the Erdefons to the west, and the deep gnomes above, who have embraced undeath. To each, she gave a large magical lens with strange powers. For safekeeping, I believe. Ours was the ochre fulcrum lens, and it could manipulate emotions. But there was more to the lens. My grandfather told my father, Larathols, who became Ilaris's leader after him. But my father never told me. I was never meant to lead. My older sister was to succeed my father. They both embarked on an expedition a few years ago. on an island in the Great Lake to the north, the Urdefon warlord Kerfel caught and killed them. Their expedition had something to do with the lens. I don't know, but I suspect my father had it with him. Perhaps he hid it someplace. Perhaps Kerfel took it. I don't know. Belcora came to me as a ghost shortly afterward. She insisted that I swear Ildaris' support and aid in a surface invasion that drives her even in death. For the good of Ildaris, I renewed the vows that my grandfather made. But I've never felt bound by mere words. I won't help her. I'll help you. You're welcome in Ildaris, as long as you would like. So I've told you what I know. What can you tell me?
That's amazing. So were the lenses all different colors? You said you had the
Yes.
ochre lens.
That's right.
We may have seen another lens recently.
Hmm.
That kind of gave us the message that the essences shall be united. Does that mean anything to you?
The essences shall be united, Mag echoes.
I'm afraid I don't know what it means. The essences shall be united.
The essences shall be united.
The essences shall be
Essences
united.
shall be
The
united.
essences will be reunited.
The Belcora gave each of these lenses to, as I mentioned, to different groups. The gnomes above, we here, and the Urdefons. So,
So 3 groups.
yes.
Aren't there?
And Trill kind of looks to the other 3.
Aren't there 4 lenses?
I'm afraid that's beyond my knowledge. But if she in life distributed the lenses to 3 groups that do not get along well, we have never cooperated with the Urdefon. And as soon as the gnomes above turned to undeath, they became really annoying.
Yeah,
and
they're kind of creepy.
weird.
We don't like them much.
Yeah, I hate those guys.
Plus that bog aura is just like, oh, God.
Right, I'm trying to breathe.
Yeah,
Right.
like,
How am I supposed to have a conversation with you while I'm choking to death?
have you had any interaction with the Caligni? They're not so bad. They like to blow up with themselves sometimes, but they're not terrible.
Yummy eggs.
We have recently spotted Caligni nearby. It's very high up for them. It seems as though they are lost or stuck or something. They do not seem to be well suited for survival in our hunting grounds, so the times that we have seen them, they have seemed frightened and pathetic and have not been much of any concern for us.
Yeah, they definitely got kind of pushed out of their home. They're not too happy about that.
Yes. Well, I hope that does not happen to us. If you believe that you can fight and defeat this Belcora, even if she's a ghost, I think that Ildaris has a greater chance at survival in the long term there than with relying on the undead.
Well, guys, I heard a story once. Now, bear with me. About some wizard who took all these different parts of his soul and put them into a whole bunch of other objects so that when he died, he didn't really die. Like, the person who was telling the story was kind of an ass, but it was an interesting story. I wonder if this is kind of the same thing.
Fascinating.
If we get all the lenses and maybe destroy them or do something with them, that's going to weaken her, and then we can finally be done with her and all of Golarion can be safe.
Yeah, and like the light will be free and just take that and channel it.
You keep referring to a light. Do you mean the void energy that courses through the pillar here in the center of our hunting grounds.
Like the beautiful blue stuff that seems all powerful?
It is blue, but to call that light is like calling poison water. It's the pure energy of undeath.
And you've got it here somewhere?
And Troll kind of looks over at it and goes,
Just keep an eye on it.
Sugar Beth is very interested.
Sorry, Sugar Beth.
Is there any of this energy nearby?
There's a large structure in the middle of our hunting grounds. It's my understanding from my father and from the stories that my grandfather told him is that this is part of the construction that this Quara put out. This area was, aside from Ilaris, was untamed, an open field of natural beauty and life, teeming, of course, with danger. A perfect place for a hunt, as we have lived within for generation after generation after generation.
That sounds kind of beautiful.
It is. It was. This Quara, she put grotesque structures through the middle of our hunting grounds. And one of them, there is a large circular structure far to the north that at times we have seen crackling with a blue sort of a light. Those who touch it are grievously injured and need immediate care, but I believe that's what you're referring to.
That tracks.
Above ground, it kind of appears as the light coming out of, you may not have a context for this, but like a lighthouse. So it's a tall building that emits light from the top so that boats don't hit the rocks. I don't know if there's a comparison down here. We have some
It's a
pretty
little
big boats
crazy for me.
above and like oceans, seas, bigger
I
than
don't know.
lakes, way bigger than lakes.
I'll have whatever this one's been smoking. My God, it's crazy what you're saying.
And she's pretty much been trying to aim that void energy light at places above to kill a whole bunch of people.
I can see why you feel so motivated to strike her down then.
Yeah, we kind of don't want to die.
Right.
Yes.
Or anyone we care about, you know.
I mean, even some people we don't care about. I'd rather they not get killed.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Her designs pose a threat not only to those on the surface against whom she would direct her wrath, but also to those here within her dungeons and within her domain. Our understanding is that what she has built can move anything inside of the radius of this dungeon outward and onto the surface, and transport these things in an attempt to create an army of devastation. I imagine, though, that you and yours could be swept up in this current and cast out of your home onto the surface if her full designs ever came to pass.
I've already sworn fealty to her. What you're saying makes perfect sense to me. I do not wish to lead my people into a march of murder in the lands above just because of a deal that my grandfather made to for a short-term chance to protect his people. If what you're saying is true, it seems as though the debt is to be repaid shortly, and I would prefer that we, trying to make this debt metaphor work, I'd prefer that there be a run on the bank to shut the whole thing down before we wind up having to cash the check that would ultimately send us deep into overdraft protection.
Right. Oh, we'll make a deposit.
You guys really have a good fiduciary system down here.
It's the best in the Darklands. Don't you forget it. You are free to use our home as though it is your home. If you need to stay here, if you need to rest, if You need to make use of our forge to craft any weapons for your fight against this ghost. Please, feel free.
Do you all
Yes, please.
have a
Sugar Bath.
bakery around here?
Or do you need a bakery? I bet you need a bakery.
We have been getting some complaints from the hunting parties that sweets would be desirable to them.
Oh, have we got a deal for you?
And Sugar Beth pulls out a trill cake. They come in all shapes and sizes. Here, try this. It's delicious.
Have you ever wanted to be your own boss?
Quara passes the trill cake to the like heavily armored drow standing behind her, and she's like, "Eat this." And she takes a bite, and she's like, "It is divine.
And wouldn't
You
your life
gotta get in on this on the ground floor."
wouldn't your life be better if you could supply these to the rest of Ilaris?
I think that sounds interesting. I'd like to hear more.
You'll be
but
getting
frankly,
in below the ground floor. Io just cracks herself up.
Sugar Beth has a
Ew.
whole she's got a whole write-up, like she's got a whole business plan for you. Just you guys talk amongst yourselves and she'll get you all set up.
There's some kobolds
I'd
who'll
love
do
that.
all the work. You'll just be raking in the profits. It's foolish not to.
You're gonna put me in on the pyramid above the kobolds, is what you're telling me?
Below. See, we're lower then.
I need to think about this.
And it's what does you mean pyramid? No. This is just multi-level marketing.
Flat. It's flat. It's a flat. There's just different flat
There's
levels.
some levels, just like there's different levels within these wild vaults that we've traveled through.
It sounds like I'd be a fool to not take you up on this business. She turns to her security and she says, "Salisa, get the paperwork from them. We need to get moving on this as fast as possible." In the meantime, though, you mentioned a black dragon, Ravarex. It sounds as though this is a quest that is of some personal significance to you. I will tell you, Ravarex, his lair, we do not go there. But he makes it very well known where his lair is. It's to the northeast if you pass out through the tunnels into our hunting grounds. I do not think it wise to attract the attention of a creature such as Ravarex, but if that is part of what you must do, I'm sure you will find him there.
You think any of your top hunters would really want to get some serious experience?
I just don't think it's that kind of game. I think it's kind of more fun if you do stuff yourself
Well-
rather than having other people do stuff for you.
Let's keep talking then about the bakery game. That's a game you want to
Yes.
get into.
Of course.
It's a game of self-actualization.
That's a game I can really get down with.
So this dragon, we just go up to the northeast and easy peasy.
I never said easy nor peasy.
Okay.
What about lemon squeezy? Is that on the
No.
table?
I mean-
All right.
Absolutely out of the question.
What if we squeeze a
Understood.
lemon in his eye?
I don't think that's going to do enough damage. He's immune to acid damage. That's crazy.
Right. Citric acid.
That's
Darn.
literally the worst idea I've ever heard of.
Has anyone ever encountered him in combat or seen him on the hunt? Anything that could give us a sense of his capabilities, his tendencies.
What I know of Ravarex is that he considers himself something of a tyrant. There's a sickness to him. He thinks of this area as his, and as such we know what to look out for and we stay away from him. It is my suspicion that there are other forces here that are larger than him and more dangerous than him. And he has been put into a corner where he knows that there is a distance between how he conceives of himself and how he is actually able to use his power here. As such, I think he is actually quite dangerous. If the ghost of Belcora Haravex would come to me and ask me to plead fealty. I can only imagine the offers that she would make to a creature like Ravrex.
Wait, could he have the fourth lens?
If a lens were available to him, he would absolutely take it.
Huh.
He thinks of himself as a king, and yet he hides in a lair in the corner of our territory. Power is something that he desires above everything.
How about baked goods? How's he on those?
Couldn't hurt to ask. As the conversation is dying down, the two twins that are standing in this back row start to speak. They've been quiet this entire time.
Oh yeah, what's up with them?
One of them sort of lists their body to the left. The other one lists his body to the right. There is more. One of these people starts speaking. The two of them move their mouths in unison, even though you only hear the voice coming from one of them. It's hard to tell which one of them is speaking. There is more, the first one says. You should know, the other drow continues.
No.
Quara raises her eyebrow. She motions for the brothers to keep speaking. The ochre lens lies in a dark and wet place. Kerfell did not claim it. Larathals dropped it in the water to deny it to his enemy. He died attempting to learn more of its purpose, more than the partial truth we know. One of the twins speaks. We have seen in a vision that the stones both empower the Ghost Queen and hold the key to her demise. They are slivers of something ancient, alien, evil, and hungry. The other speaks. We saw eyes of empty death, they cry together. She separated the lenses because together they draw the baleful attention of the empty death. Even the Ghost Queen cannot withstand the empty death when their powers are joined within her. The secrets to the lenses are in the old treasure vault, which overlooks the lake. The other one continues. Find the lenses and the answers Larathals sought. And then they drop totally silent.
Oh.
And Quara turns back away from these two and looks at you and says, I would say that you get used to Basrad and Clathor, but one never does. Let me assure you that when they do speak, it's important. This is all news to me, but when their words benefit Ildaris, they probably benefit you as well.
Larathals was your grandfather, correct? Who went to go and battle Carfell, the Erdefin warlord?
Larathals is my father.
Ah, your father.
Larathals was intending to pass leadership to my sister. They took the lens out towards the north. Sounds to the lake. They were both killed.
But it sounds like, according to the twins, he cast the lens into the lake in order to keep it out of the Erdefin's hands.
Yes, that's the conclusion I reach as well.
Excellent. I'm glad we're on the same page. Thank you.
Trill's thinking back into everything that we've done on this level, because this is a massive level. Holy cow.
This is a new level. You haven't been on this level
Wait,
yet.
isn't it a whole new level? It still feels like we're on
Yeah.
the same one, but I guess we did go downstairs.
No,
down
you went,
first.
you went down. I think that the transition from eighth levels down to 9 levels down, as it happened with like Drow leading you down and me
Right, it wasn't as
narrating a
clear to me.
bunch
We
of
were
stuff.
confused.
down as
Yeah.
much as we were.
Totally.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that
Okay.
either.
Yeah, you're on the
Thank
9th
you.
level now, not the 8th level. You're in a whole other area.
A whole new lake. Wow.
Right, and when
How did they
she
not just collapse
describes
on
like
themselves?
there's a column of void energy going through the middle of their hunting grounds, that's somewhere out there. Sounds like a large open area, but it's somewhere we have not seen.
Totally.
Hmm.
Yeah, anytime she's talking about her hunting grounds, It sounds vast. It sounds like there's deep intricacies leading off sort of into the infinite away from you.
Cool.
And somewhere there's a pillar that Belcora built here 500 years ago when her grandfather, right? Like this is not a long time for the Drow. This is the equivalent of 1942 in our world, right? Like,
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. She looks at you and she says, even if the Erdefons do not have our lens, I'm not going to be subtle when I tell you what I want. I want Kerfel killed, and I want his Roka sword brought back to me as a trophy. I'm not above vengeance, especially if it aids my friends in their cause. Kerfel would never part with the lens while he draws breath, so defeating him is necessary, whether you want to do it for me or not.
Seems we got a few more things on the old to-do list.
And we still gotta get that lens back from the Gug.
Yeah.
This is not getting easier, guys.
It's like a whole other book of an adventure path.
It's all, like, interwoven and connected and kind of hard to keep up, man.
Right, as though a team spent months, possibly even years, coordinating their efforts to construct a single narrative that would lie through any number of combat encounters and social moments shared with comrades and new friends.
No, this is all too wild to be designed. No,
No,
I
right.
see
That
you.
was
I see you. You're
crazy.
into that whole design theory of the universe, but no.
Yeah,
I gotta
you
disagree.
got me. Yeah, you're right. I don't know where that came from.
Quara turns to you and she says, I wish you luck. Is there anything else that you need from me while I go through this paperwork that I've received about this bakery marketing business?
We don't need anything from you, but here's another tasty treat. And Sugarbeth throws her a what do we have? What's a flavor thing I can throw? One of the dragon blood.
Dragon's blood puddings?
Yeah, whatever.
Zoe.
The flavor
She
one,
gives
not
it
the
to
real
the-
one.
Yeah.
We want this.
She gives it to the two twins and she's like, you weirdos eat this. They're like,
Zoe, are you saying that the first taste of Sugarbeth is free?
Oh.
I wasn't, but now I am. Now I'm saying that.
So Quara departs, speaking quietly to her entourage as she leaves, and there's a bunch of stuff you could do. I don't know what you want to do. What do you want to do? What are we doing next? I'm going to let you know. It is currently about 4:00 in the afternoon, and your guide here, Irabo, is sort of standing at the side of the room, keeping an eye on you. But it seems pretty clear that the message here of like Ildaris is yours to make your own is true. I want to let you know that you can buy gear here up to level 7, which is better than the level 4 gear that was available within Otari.
I was going to ask if there was a shop. Excellent.
There's a shop. You can order basically any common item of any level, but there's going to be a week to wait for the order to come in from the Drow city of Lozarden.
Lozarden, Baltimore of the underworld.
And then on top of that, there's this forge here that you're looking right at. There are facilities here for you to make use of. If you wanted to spend the night here right now, you could do that. Or if you wanted to push forward and continue exploring, you can do that too.
We're
I
pretty
think Trill would
healed, and
advocate-
it's only like 2 or something, right?
4, he
It's
said.
4, yeah.
I think
Nice.
Trill would advocate for getting to know our surroundings here. Do a little bit of like, just not reconnaissance, not really exploring, just like, finding seeing what we could buy, seeing all of the different options to do a little planning before we head out into any new uncharted territory for us.
If there are any new assets to be had in this place that could better prepare or strengthen us for what comes next, I'd have them.
Okay. So what I'm going to do then is just give you sort of like a light tour of the area around here, okay? to sort of open doors and give you a sense of like what the vibe is around Ildaris. All right. So the four of you decide to set about seeing what the various assets are here. The first place you check out is a room to the southwest. You peek your head in. You see 2 beds set up symmetrically within a sleeping chamber, and you get the sense that this is where those 2 like seers, Basrad and Clothor, sleep. You move down to the southern side of this great chamber, and there is a beautiful cave here. It's a massive cavern, stunning. There are gray stones, like that make up the natural wall of this cavern. There are veins and growths of crystal in lustrous shades of pearl white, dark purple, glimmering blue, and brilliant scarlet.
It's like my wig just exploded everywhere.
It is like
Lars, does this chamber resemble at all the chamber in which Earthagol posts up?
It does in, I think, a very important superficial sense. This is a cave where the drow come to meditate. You don't get the sense that these drow are particularly religious, but this is like definitely a place of like solemnity and like meditative like connection with nature.
Control detect
for sure.
Can control detect any magic in here?
No.
Do we start to feel psychoactively
No.
activated? Okay.
It does not seem as though, like, you got the sense from that first cave that it was like the meditation of cultists of
Nimbleoth?
Nimbleoth. Yeah, of cultists of Nimbleoth that like infuse this like Nimbleoth energy through there. You don't sense that presence here at all. Right?
This art is so cool.
You look down into the cave, into the pool, and you can see that into this clear water that you're looking down, there are the bottom and the sides of this pool are also made of these shimmering, multicolored, glittering crystals. So this is a place of like incredible spiritual, if not overtly religious import to the drow that live here.
Cool.
Where do you think you want to explore? You want to explore the eastern edge or the western edge of this settlement?
I guess there's less to the east, right? Because we were led there before.
That's right. You've gone through the eastern area.
Is there anything to the east we haven't seen, I guess, that we could knock out real quick before we go west?
That makes sense. So you head over to the east. You head down this hallway that Quara moved down with her entourage. And at the end of that hallway, you can see is like a door that has a guard standing in front of it. It seems like these are the personal chambers of Quara.
Okay.
So not open to us. Cool.
Not open to you. So you head back out into this main hallway, and Irabo is sort of like following along sort of silently as you're exploring.
I like Irabo. I like you. You're part. It feels like you're part of the gang now.
Thank you. I will not be assisting you in any fighting, though.
It's still worth buttering you up.
Honestly, I find your directness refreshing, actually.
Yeah.
It's quite charming.
I'm glad somebody appreciates it. A number of people here find me stern and off-putting.
I kind of think Rakizlia appreciates it.
Whatever.
Nice one, Trill.
I don't like her. You open the next door here
Mag is
to the
just
north.
trying to get past the image of Irabo buttered up.
Fair.
And you step into this next sort of bunk area as you move through the rooms adjoining this large central hallway in this settlement. 4 bunk beds here. There are padlocked boxes, like bed, lockers, personal lockers in front of each of these beds. You see a number, you see 2 is the number of drow, sharpshooters sitting here. And they're just sort of having a conversation here in their bedroom. And they turn to you and they say, like, the rumor of the presence of newcomers has spread quickly. If any of you would like to learn the intricacies of drow shooting, the please come and speak with us.
Ao throws her hand up. I mean, I know, but just like a refresher, because like in Baltimore, we do it with the different, the style, like the underleg style, and I can like
The underleg style of Baltimore.
Yeah.
I've heard much about it. It's,
Not efficient.
it's inefficient but incredibly deadly.
yes.
There's nothing we can teach you that would be of any value to you if you know already the Baltimore underleg shooting style.
But like, what about for us who aren't drow? We'd love to learn from you.
Okay. So you have access to the drow shootist archetype because you can train with these people. So if any of you want to learn how to do like a hand crossbow hijinks, that's a thing you can do.
That's awesome.
You continue down to the next of these rooms here in Ilaris, and you see target practice, like an area where there are two drow shooters like aiming at targets repeatedly, like dummies that they're training with. They turn back towards you, give you a thumbs up, and you keep on moving. You head back into the main chamber that you first entered into, the watch chamber, where Falksy or Shendiel, Quara's cousin that you made friends with earlier, he sees you, he's playing cards, he sees you come back, he approaches Trill, and he's like, I was afraid I wouldn't see you again. You've done something different with your hair.
Since the last time you saw me, yeah, absolutely. It's we've been getting to know Ilaris, and I feel like it vibes with the place.
If you wouldn't mind, I got you a gift. And he hands you a playing card that he folded into like a unicorn.
Oh my goodness. And Trill kind of fits it into her wig. It fixes it so it is almost like a goofy Christmas tree with an ornament on it.
And you see him like swoon for a second. He's like, well, I'll be around if you ever want to hang out or whatever.
Trill winks at him.
Yeah, I don't think we're not really. We're going places, but we're not really going places.
And the guy that he's playing cards with rolls his eyes as he sees Falksy like buckle at the knees from Trill's raw charisma. You enter a mess hall down to the south. There are tables and place settings and that sort of thing all around here. Dirty dishes, empty bottles. This is a place where it seems like the main eating area for the hunters that make up the majority of the population here in Ilaris. And then down to the south, the last of the rooms here is a large dormitory room. 5 bunk beds, a mess of blankets and furs. There are locked boxes along the base of some of these beds. And this is a place where a few of the drow hunters are also like spending time socializing here during their time away from the hunt.
Lars, can I ask what, if anything, any of us would know about drow hunting culture? Is this like such a primary central like touchstone of drow culture that even uplanders like us who don't know a ton about them would still have heard? Is this like Klingons in honor, like it's the one thing you know about them? Or are we kind of acquiring this idea of how important the hunt is to them as we explore?
I would say that you don't know for sure that like hunting is a primary function of drow culture overall, right? Like the larger sort of more metropolitan areas that the drow live in throughout the Darklands. I don't think that you have any confidence that there is such a focus here. I think it's the conclusions that you're reaching as you're investigating this area are just that this is a place where the drow that live here in this like medium-sized settlement, they survive, they flourish because of their capacity as hunters.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Irabo suggests, if you're interested in exploring some of the hunting grounds, there is a You can move through that door, and she points back to the security checkpoint that you entered in. Take a left. There's a secret exit from our area through a tunnel in that direction. I will warn you, there is one area quite close by that we all steer clear of. There's a deep fog covering the area, and something is lurking within that fog. Unless you wish to die, perhaps do not enter the fog.
That sounds like a challenge.
Could be a fun spot for a bakery.
Doesn't sound like it gets much foot traffic.
Yeah. I think there are a number of more desirable locations than in the death fog, but
Nothing
I'm
but
not at this-
fog, am I right? Just workshopping.
No bad ideas in a workshop.
Sugar Beth has her hand up for a high five.
I got a high five. I almost never get a high five.
I'll admit, this is beyond my realm of expertise. All I can tell you is where not to go if you don't want to get eaten by a crazy monster in the fog.
Right.
Kind of monster. I mean, I guess you said crazy, but like big, small, poisonous, hungry.
I don't know.
Okay.
We cling to the northern side of that chamber, and we survive.
All right.
So, guess I'll smell you guys later.
That's the traditional Baltimorean goodbye. How'd you know that?
Lucky guess. So, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to head out to this place? You want to explore? What are we doing? What's next?
What aren't we doing?
Now that you have seen
I mean,
all of Ildaris's resplendent offerings.
do we want to go after the Black Dragon? I mean, I've only spent one first level spell, so I'm
Feels
ready to.
black dragony, right? Poor Mark has been imperiled for a long time, and we sort of let that slide.
You know, his fortitude, though legendary, can only sustain him for so long.
Yeah, where is Mark? Dang.
I think our working theory, like we kind of have these three strands. We have Mark, who's the last remaining captive from the level above. We have the 4 lenses, which we were first introduced to in the level above and now learn more about. And we have the Black Dragon, who showed himself above after trailing Mag around inexplicably for a decade. And I think our working theory about all of them is that they are all co-located. That the dragon has a lens. We want to go after the dragon, and the dragon has a lens, and the dragon has Mark.
You at least know that the dragon, if offered a lens, would take it.
Right. We don't. I'm not saying we know that, but it is also as good a lead maybe as we have on lens location. Or I guess there's this story that we've now gotten about they went on a quest and they and they lost the thing. But I don't know. It sort of seems like all roads are leading to this.
I think
to this confrontation. Does anybody have any level 7 gear that they wanted that didn't? I have no idea
I'd need a little time
mechanically
for
if
that.
that's like.
I'm happy to retcon that between sessions.
Yeah.
Like we
Off,
get armor or
alternate.
whatever. Yeah.
Off
Yeah.
mic, we'll have to look at those lists.
Yeah, totally. I
Or
don't
we
want
could
to do
record
that, right?
ourselves going through Nethys a lot.
I super don't want to do that.
Oh, I'll just set up my
Let
mic.
me tell you about stuff I don't want to do.
I'll just live
that.
stream.
I don't
want
wanna
to
do that.
This. You can find me on Twitch. It's gonna be super interesting, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's going to be really good.
Sounds good.
The view count is going to be through the freaking roof. Okay, so Irabo says, if you wish to find Ravarex, enter the hunting grounds. Left turn. There's you will get to the end of the tunnel. Do any of you speak Elven?
Oh, I do. My dad was an elf, actually. Is that a
Place? He was.
Haplavel Volus? Did you know him?
No,
Oh, he was
Sounds-
a surfacer.
sure. Sounds really cool.
Oh.
So, if you get to the end of a tunnel, you'll see rubble. Put your hand to it. Speak any Elven, and the door will open. That is the best way into the hunting grounds.
All right.
It's not going to be a trick like the one above that you
Gotta go.
said would have been a terrible trap if we had read the Elven that was on it.
Irabo's gone. She's left.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that was ambiguous.
So you head back into this entry where you first walked through to get into Ildaris. The guard holding on to the door there sees you coming, lifts this huge, blockade bar holding the door closed, and says, "Happy hunting, everyone." And you find yourselves then in this passageway that, just as Irabo told you, terminates in a dead end at the southern side. There is a pile of rubble there.
Istin says the word friend in Elvish.
While touching the rubble,
Yeah.
I assume. As you say the word friend in Elvish, the door swings open and you step into a large, natural cavern.
Wow.
The ceiling of this cavern is covered with crystals and stalactites. There's a drizzle dripping down from the formations, and there are paths that wind through fungus growing on the ground. Towards the southern portion of this room, you see, or of this cavern, you see a number of lizards that it seems like the drow have been training for some sort of purpose. Like maybe they would ride these lizards around, and they're unbridled. They're sort of pecking around in the fungus here. They turn towards you and nibble at a little bit of fungus and then go, "Arr, arr," like they're territorially saying, "Stay away." But it seems like there are alcoves leading off to the south and to the west, but the direction that you've been told to go is over here directly to your west.
God, I wish I had animal handling.
And there is another drow hunter here, sort of keeping watch over these lizards as they're roaming around. They acknowledge you and sort of raise a hand and say, "This way." And they point to the west.
Seems like we should head west.
You move over some rocky outcroppings to the west, and the fungal growth gets thinner here in this large chamber that you've stepped into. There's barren rock and rubble all over the ground, and to the south, amid this dull gray stone, there are strange clouds of a thick, grayish-black fog hugging the ground.
Oh.
Seems like a good spot for a bakery. I don't know.
The ground does seem fairly clear if you're going to build a location, I'll say
Maybe
that.
just the kiosk.
Oh, that's a great idea, Trill.
Food truck?
Oh my god.
Even just a billboard could make sense. Mag mutters under her breath.
There's also a passageway leading to the north, though.
Well, maybe we sort of ideate on that. I think we're still kind of in initial innovation mode. And sometimes these things are best if you just keep moving.
Totally.
And
Put a
as
pin
Mag
in
looks
it.
to the north, she takes 2 steps up to see how far how far around the corner she can see, and when she sees it, it's a long way.
It's long.
Yeah.
You see the distance stretches out in front of you, and you see fungal growth. You see outcroppings. You get the feeling like you were looking into this hunting grounds now.
And she turns back to the others and says, "They said he was to the northwest. No?
Northeast, but yes.
Word.
Yeah,
They said he was to the northeast. No?"
through there, I think. Yeah.
And she starts forward.
You step forward into the hunting grounds.
Whoa.
So cool.
Awesome.
Nelly. Okay, so there is a reason to have sudden charge.
Finally.
This
There's
is a
space.
massive map that I have just placed you on, by the way. Like, this thing goes. This is like by far the largest map we've seen yet.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a whole floor's worth of most of Gauntlet, but it's all in one chamber or network of chamber. It's all one room.
Your understanding of like the pillar of Gauntlet that leads from the lighthouse down to like what you know is like the thin point between our world and, you know, Nimbleoth.
Yeah.
That's just like a feature here in this wide area. You step into this vast, wide-ranging, like fungal forest. You see the hills of this cavern sort of stretch out into the distance. These pillars, like odd colors from the like bioluminescent fungus all over the place. Fungus grows wild throughout this enormous cavern, sometimes reaching as high as 30 feet. The cavern ceiling, when visible through this fungal canopy, is higher still. As you step into this opening at the very, very bottom of this wide area, you see mushrooms stretching out to the north, stretching up towards the ceiling in an outcropping to your immediate north. And then a short distance away, you see even larger fungus stretching up towards the ceiling. As you approach, you see two enormous puffballs that look like skulls, almost like bulbous tops of like skull-like fungal structures with like wide open, like black eyes receding into the structure of the puffball.
I don't know if I would have seen that if you hadn't described it. That is like
Totally.
some Punisher skull there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the gaping mouth, these fungus pop off of the mushrooms as you enter this area, and they float slowly down towards you. And we will pick up from there next time.
This is so cool.
This is
What a
amazing.
Cool space.
This is amazing. The Roots of Ruin is a Tabletop Gold production produced under the Paizo Incorporated fan content policy, using trademarks and copyrights owned by Paizo that are covered under that policy. The Roots of Ruin is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. All original characters and content in The Roots of Ruin are the property of Tabletop Gold, and all rights are reserved. We at Tabletop Gold would love to hear from you. Visit our website, tabletopgold.com, to learn more about us and our shows, join the Golden Horde to get access to more shows, pick up great merch, and connect to the best online community in all of podcasting. Thanks for listening.